Okay, recording is in progress. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is for you. Now this is not actually a session. Now this is just to clear all of your doubts. So if you have any questions, y'all can ask. That is why we host this call. So yeah, y'all can start with your questions one by one, all together, no problem. Y'all can start with your
And,
questions.
well, my first question really is yesterday, how it is you knew that the price was going to go that high?
Go that higher. This one.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Okay, I'll show you. So it's just the same concepts. Okay, it's just the same concepts. I'll show you. So now, but for everything, we need to always come back down from the daily time frame, okay, or from a higher time frame. So this is what I saw. Okay, this is what I saw. Price swept all of these equal lows, okay, or these relative equal lows, which means they took out sell stops. Okay, they took out sell stops from all of these lows. So after taking out sell stops, where are they heading next? Okay, where are they heading next? After sell stops, they'll be going after buy stops. Okay, that's what they would do. Give me a minute. There's someone in the waiting room. Okay, so we'll see.
Okay, hey, sorry.
That's all right. Okay, so after taking out sell stops, where are they going next? They're going after buy stops. Okay, so where are the buy stops? Where are the buy stops? Above intermediate term highs. See that? Above intermediate term highs. So we know that after all of these lows have been taken out, where are they going next? Above, like they will go after the buy stops. That's what they would do. So where are the buy stops? They are above the intermediate term highs. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. So until price, now we need to know their intentions. So now when this move right here started, okay, when we saw some bullish intent from this area, why are they going there? Where are they going next? What's their intention? Their intention is to take out the buy stops. So where are the buy stops? Above this high. So until those highs have been taken out, we're bullish on GU. Only until that. Okay, because the higher time frame has shown us some signs of bearish intent. See that now, even though this was a liquidity hunt, okay, even though that was a stop hunt, this is also a breakout structure. Okay, this can be also taken as a breakout structure because this was that last high low on the higher time frame. So now, which means now GU has shifted into a bearish market. Okay, now we have to combine everything. We have to combine structure, we have to combine liquidity and all of those. Okay, so if you look at the 4-hour time frame, okay, this is how the 4-hour came back down, something like this. Okay, the 4-hour time frame did something like this. Now what they're actually doing right now is, you see that? So now this was that last lower high on a 4-hour time frame, right? This was that last lower high. So what will people think when this high has been taken out? When this high gets taken out, what will people think? They'll think that, yeah, we're going bullish. We're going bullish. So what they would expect is something like this. This is what they would expect. So now you see, with these highs resting over here, what they're actually doing is they're creating liquidity. They are inducing. Okay, this is an inducement. This highs right here is an inducement. So what they're actually doing is, now look at that inducement. Okay, now even though it looks like a set of equal highs, okay, with these highs being taken out, most people, what they would do is this. They would expect something like this and to go higher. So now imagine how much of liquidity they have created to the downside. Okay, now there are people who trade all of their sell stops below these lows. Okay, they'll place their stop losses. Some might even look at these order blocks right here, something right here. See that? Now with these highs, okay, with this inducement, they have created so much of liquidity to the downside. You get that? They have created so much of liquidity to the downside. So that's why we say liquidity is what drives the market. So now they have created the liquidity for them to come back down. Okay, so what I did was this. I know that they're after buy stops now. Okay, they're after buy stops. So I'm just following structure. So on the 15-minute, this is what happened. Okay, so this was Friday. This was Friday. And our range was like this. From this low to this high was our range on Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what did price do? Came back into a discounted price. See that? We had this. Okay, now what did price do? Came back into a discounted price and it created some equal lows. See that? Created
Mhm.
equal lows. Okay, which if it takes out liquidity and if it breaks structure, this is a strong low. Get that?
Right.
If it takes out liquidity and if it breaks structure, this is going to be a strong low. So this was Friday, and we know that we cannot expect like very huge moves on Fridays. So what did it do? It started consolidating and we went back into a new week. And then on Monday, it came back into the discount price of this range from this low to this high. Okay,
Mhm.
came back down, and you see it came back down. Once again, the same thing happened. It took out liquidity from all of these lows. Okay, took out liquidity and it broke structure once again. See that?
Yeah.
It broke structure. So now we still have some bullish intent in the market. Okay.
Right.
Then what happened? What happened? So yesterday, what happened yesterday? Okay. Now, if you look closely, this was that order block that broke structure, right?
Right.
This was
Yes.
the order block that broke structure. And we know that this set of lows has to hold. The reason is it took out liquidity and it broke structure, which means now these lows are a set of strong lows. Okay, these have to hold. And what did I tell you? I told you if price breaks structure and if it retraces and breaks structure once again, okay,
Mhm.
and if it breaks structure once again like this, where would those people place their sell stops? Just above the, I'm sorry, just below this low, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like we cannot expect any sort of we cannot expect a huge move from this order block. The reason is there's so much of liquidity resting below it. And that's why I mentioned in the group yesterday that a drop in a bullish market is a hunt for sell stops. So where are the sell stops? Right below this low. And then what's the closest what's the closest POI to the inducement? Right, this. See that?
Yeah.
See right here. So do we trust this order block to work? No, right? Because where is the liquidity above it? I told you for it to be a good order block, okay, for it to be a good point of interest, there needs to be liquidity resting above it. So where is the liquidity that's resting above it? There's nothing. There's nothing. And I even
Mhm.
saw many people looking at that order block. So which means that that's like pure liquidity. That's pure liquidity. Because this would be seen as a break of structure point. You see that inducement?
Yeah.
People would say like, this is the range. Now, what are they doing once again? So people would say if this breaks, the 50-minute has shifted bearish. So what they would expect is something like this once again. Okay, so what are they
Mhm.
doing once again? They're creating liquidity to the upside. Sorry, they're creating liquidity to the upside. You get that?
Yeah.
So that's how I got the bias yesterday. It was simple. It was very simple. This was that Asian range. Price started coming back down. So I had no chances of getting in on a sell from here. So that's okay. That's okay. Like we do not always want to hedge. Okay, only if it's clear we are going to hedge. So you see what happened. Okay, like
Yeah.
we need to have a lot of patience. Yeah, what you
Yeah.
see?
I understand that, right? But I have another question for you concerning this same setup, the setup today and the setup on yesterday as well, right? Um, no, I'm sorry, yesterday and day before yesterday.
Day before
If
yesterday.
you drop
Yeah,
down to the M1 time frame, now I had that very same POI mark. I had it down to the exact price level, right?
right here. Okay.
Yeah, what you did yesterday on
Okay.
M1, right?
Okay.
And if you notice, okay, so price touched into that blue box at the
This one.
bottom. Yeah.
Oh, this one.
Um. Yeah. Hold on. Can I point? Can I
Yeah.
point in the chat? Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So hold on a second. Just let me get this. Okay. Right. You see my mouse?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, yeah. You,
It will take
I
time.
think I gave you permission. I'm
okay.
not
All right.
good at this. Yeah.
Now you see my mouse on, right? Or maybe I should just annotate.
Yeah, maybe you can annotate or something.
Okay.
Just use the annotate tool to annotate, bro.
Yeah. Let me just
There,
annotate. Right.
yeah, in view options,
Okay.
you'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I found it. Yeah. So we know it hit the POI here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then price went up. It broke structure.
Yeah.
Right.
It broke structure.
And then it came down back. Now, I had my POI, my entry point as this area here, right?
Okay. Okay.
But then it kept coming down and forming relative equal lows, right?
Yeah. So even
So
I was waiting for all of these lows to be taken out, but it did not. It did not. So I was
exactly,
waiting here for all of
that is
these to
what
be
I
taken
was
out
doing.
and tap into this. Okay, I
Exactly,
was
that is
waiting for
what I
that.
was
Yeah,
waiting,
but the
right?
thing was,
Because
there was
yeah,
another type of inducement right here, a minor little inducement. See
yeah,
that? This
yeah.
was another inducement, so we could have even taken it from this, but that was risky. That was risky. So I will always wait for this to play out. I even had this marked, but it did not come back down there. So we can't do anything about it, right? We
Yeah,
can't do anything about it.
the day
Yeah.
before, I did this
Okay.
very same thing. And the reason why I didn't take the trade here was the day before, I did this
Okay.
very same thing. And I took the trade here and price came down back down here. And I got stopped out.
Back down.
Yeah. So I was wondering, here it is. I said, I'm not making the same mistake twice. I'm waiting.
Price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then price didn't come down back. And then I saw your trade and I was like, okay, maybe I did something wrong. No, I was just
So
wondering if there was a rule concerning that or something, because it was just the
yeah.
market,
No, the
it's
thing is
forex.
like they'll do what they want to do. Okay, like we cannot always expect
Yeah.
100% accuracy with anything. Not with anything. Okay, not even ICT teaches 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
Nothing works that way. Okay, like if it works that way, like everyone could profit from it. Something unique happens every single day, and we need to know how to play along with it. So losses are part of this. Okay, like we cannot we cannot like get frustrated about it. Okay, so what
Yeah.
I did was I even had a sell from here. Okay, I had a sell from here targeting these lows. Okay,
Yeah, I
but
wanted to
it
do that,
came
but I
back
didn't have the
down and then
confidence.
it hit break even. So I was like, even I was waiting for these lows to get swept and then for price to tap into this, but it did not. It did not work. So that's okay. That's okay because it does not work like that every single day. Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe we could gotten an entry right here. This was an inducement. Okay,
Yeah.
something from right here we could have gotten an entry, but that was risky because we know that these were relatively equal lows. Both of these has to get swept. That's how I told you. Okay, so I was waiting, like honestly I was waiting until these lows get taken out, but it did not.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, that's how the market was. All right. Well, at least I
Bro,
know
just in case,
okay.
Dara,
okay.
one more doubt. Just in case if I want to enter above after all these things, where can I enter again in this
Right,
whole
good
option?
question.
Above all of these things. Okay, let's see. Right here we had no other opportunity. You see that? It was like nothing. Price just started shooting up. There was
But
nothing.
at least the POI, where can we enter? Just can you
Yeah,
show me
let's
that
see.
POI?
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was one entry right here. Yeah, that's it. That's all the entries that day. There was like two. We had this. We could have entered off this, okay, for sure. That was something like a classical BOSR TOT. See, price took out liquidity from these lows and it broke structure. Right here, it broke structure. Okay, which means now this would be a strong low. Okay, so if we go to a seconds time frame, I don't think most of you are used to seconds time frame.
Yeah, use a second time frame.
Yeah, so we had this little inducement right here. See there? We got a wick. So we could have used that and then entered off that this thing right here. That was another entry. That's it. That's all I see. That's all I see. Nothing else. See there? We could have gotten an entry right there. And then after that, price just went
Sorry,
back up.
Udara.
Yeah.
On the 1 minute, could you
Okay.
also say like this will be inducement? I'll just annotate
Wait.
for you.
Right here.
Hold on. Yeah, like there.
Yeah, that's an inducement too, because that's a short-term low. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a short-term low. Because and see, there was an order block right here because I told you about the wicks. There was an order block right here.
Mhm.
Price tapped into it and then gave a little reaction. So I told you, like price is fractal and so is liquidity. Liquidity is fractal too because there would have been people who did this, something like this, stop loss below this low. Okay, there are people who do that. Okay, there are people who do that. So that's why I told you. That's why the FU candle comes. The FU candle comes only if there is liquidity. See, somebody would have taken a long position from this order block, somewhere around from this week. That's why, like, only if there are orders, the FU candle comes. You see that? Just FU'd all of them, and then tapped into the right order block. So there would have been someone who bought from this area right here. Okay. So yeah, that's all the entries I see.
Udar, I have a
There.
question.
Yeah.
There is 2 POIs you have already marked here in blue boxes.
Right here.
No. Yeah, 15
one?
months,
Okay.
15 minutes. Then why didn't you choose the 1 minute POI below that first blue box?
I'm sorry. Below this,
Yeah,
you wanted
yeah.
me to choose the 1 minute one. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Which one?
This candle with
Which-
mm,
This thing? This thing? Which one did you want me to choose?
No, I think he's trying to say that you marked that like inducement. You were showing that the above order
Uh,
block was an inducement. So that
Oh
wasn't a
yeah,
PR.
this
That
is
was
just
even
an
26.
inducement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just an
you got
inducement. Okay, I just marked it to show you what
Mhm.
happened. Okay, see what happened. Like even I got tricked there, but I did not enter. See what happened. Okay, price just tapped into it. See, it will give you some reactions. You see what happened. Okay, what did price do? Took out liquidity once again, and it even gave a breakout structure. See that? So I just marked this to show you what happened. Price tapped into this and then it even broke structure. Now imagine how many people would have waited for somewhere around here to play out. See that inducement? Like they're creating so much of liquidity. They're feeding the below liquidity with a lot of, I'm sorry, the below point of interest with a lot of liquidity. See that? Now after this breakout structure, even I thought twice. Like, what if I like missed the trade or something? But then I knew I have no reason to take a buy from here. Okay, you see that I just marked this to show you what's happening. See, we even got a breakout structure after hitting that. Like many people would have gotten into this trade, like so much of people, because it just tapped a 50-minute order block and it broke structure. See that? So yeah.
Udar, what if there
else?
is a 1 minute order block inside these 2 boxes? Then we
Okay.
have to choose that.
What if there's a 1 minute order block in now? This thing we're cutting it off. Okay, I just marked this to show you. This thing we're cutting it off. That's it. This is the inducement. This is that major trap within the range. Okay, so this thing I refined it down to this, 1 minute imbalance. See that? Because if
That's
price
it.
is coming back down after taking out all of this liquidity, okay, like why should it turn from here without filling the imbalance
Yeah.
completely?
Yeah.
Why should it turn from here? It has to come back and tap into this. That's
Yeah.
what price did actually. It has to come back down. Okay, like
Okay, thanks.
if it did not, we can expect something like this.
Mm.
Okay, even if it did not, then this becomes the inducement. You get that?
Yeah.
But since there was a lot of liquidity resting below these lows, that's why price just tapped in and then went. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, what else?
Why would you not use the breaker?
I'm sorry.
Why would
The
you
breaker.
not? Yeah.
The breaker right here.
No, in you mark the order block. Why would you not use the breaker? Because that's the closest POI, is it not?
This thing right here.
The POI was inside the breaker.
Yeah.
No, the one
POI
right
was
next to the.
inside of the breaker, I guess. See that? Oh yeah, it was inside of that breaker.
I meant on the 1 minute, but
Oh, on the 1 minute.
yeah, to the left of your order block, but right next to it, there was a breaker.
So you wanted me to choose this.
But the breaker did work as well. But no, the
Yeah,
one to the.
But
to the
this
one to the
thing
right.
was really obvious. Okay, this was obvious. The reason is, look at this. Okay, which was the one that broke structure? This order block right here. Right? This was the one that broke structure. Okay, so this was the one that broke structure. I told you we need to choose the one that broke structure, and it got induced too. Now we have no reason to choose the breaker. Like we could have chosen like all of this. This was just a point of interest. Okay, we could have taken something like this.
Udar, I think he means the, like, when you refine the 15-minute order block and there's
This
that
thing?
1 minute order block. Yeah. Once you refine that, there's a 1 minute breaker inside of that. And he said, how
Yeah,
come
let's
you
see.
didn't use that one?
Oh, the one we break inside of it. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's see.
it does work as well. But
Yeah, this thing right here.
yeah,
Yeah, we could have chosen that too, but like I told you, why would it come this far and not fill this imbalance? Just think of it. Why would it come this far and not fill this imbalance? So like this is that last logical point it could come into, right? Like I told you, if it does not feel it, like if it comes this close and if it did not feel an imbalance, that looks suspicious. Then why did it come back down that far? You get that? Like it has to come back down, and if it's coming back down, it has to feel this imbalance. It has to, because like why are they risking some more money on something like this? Why are they doing that? Like if they're coming back this much down, they could have filled this imbalance and then go back up. Like why would they reverse from somewhere around here? Okay, because now this is still inefficient price action. See that? So then they'll have to
Okay.
put another order to fill that imbalance, because we know that imbalances has to be filled. So why are they putting an order and then coming only this far? They can fill this and then go back up. Like think of it. Like think of the tiniest details. Why wouldn't they fill this? Like yeah, I told you we need to choose the closest one to the inducement, the closest POI, but like we need to be flexible. Like why would it come back this down and not fill this imbalance? Get that? Why would they do that? I
Okay.
hope it's clear.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we need to be flexible. Okay, just think of it. Think of it in a logical standpoint. Okay. So what else? I think y'all had so many questions and now
Yes.
no one's talking.
Yeah.
Y'all can ask anything because there's so much of time.
Okay, I just want you to go over one thing concerning market structure.
Market
Like,
structure.
Yeah, well, not market structure, but actually break of market structure. Right?
Break of structure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I see you sometimes when you use the lower time frames, you take
Okay.
a pretty fast break of structure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the higher time frames, well, when I say higher time frames, like on the M15 or what, you wait for like maybe 2 places to get broken first.
Mm-mm.
Um,
This is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I would
like-
do. Okay. Like sometimes I take the closest breakout structure when, like, you know what ICT calls a turtle soup, right? Like
Yeah.
a sweep
No,
below
no,
the lows and then he starts buying. No, I'm
Yeah, but
going to explain why I
yeah.
choose the closest breakout structure. Okay, so what he does is he wait for a sweep below lows and then he'll enter, like without any logic, he just enters with a 30 people huge stop loss. So what I do is, okay, so this is when I choose the closest breakout structure. Now say we had all of these lows right here. Yeah, somewhere right here. We had these lows. We had these lows. Okay, we had these lows, and then after taking out these lows, we know that there are sell stops resting below these lows. Okay, so which means price has to come back down, take out all of these sell stops, and then go back the other way, the opposite direction. Okay, so at that point, what I do is I'll wait for price to go below these lows, and then just a little bullish intent in the market, a little minor breakout structure, I'm entering on a buy. The reason is price has to pull back up after taking out a major low. Get that? That's when I choose the closest breakout structure. Not all the time. Not all the time. Okay. Only if it sweeps below a major low or a major high, I'm going to choose the closest breakout structure. Okay. I hope it's clear. Like, because only after it sweeps below a major low or a major high. Okay.
You say after it sweeps below a major low or major high, right?
Yeah.
And your definition of a major low and major high is it must take out liquidity and it must break structure.
No, the thing is, this is what I call a major high. Okay. Now say price is coming back down in a downtrend like this. Something like this. Okay, now it's a downtrend. It's a clear downtrend. So in a downtrend, the lower highs will be protected, right? The lower highs will be protected.
Yeah.
This will be protected, this will be protected, and then this will be protected. So which means we know that what's resting above protected highs? There are buy stops. There are buy stops resting above protected highs. See that?
Mhm.
There are buy stops resting above all of these protected highs. Okay. And then once price breaks structure, okay, once price breaks structure, now say we get a breakout structure right here. Okay, say we get a breakout structure right here. Now this was once a major high. The thing was it was protected, yeah, right?
Right.
This was protected. So this is what I call a major high. Okay, a significant lower high, because when price was retracing back down, okay, this lower high was protected. So above a lower high, there would be buy stops. Okay, not above all of these protected highs. There are people who place buy stops and sell stops above every single swing point. Like every swing point has liquidity resting above it. So what I do is once price goes above this and gives a minor little breakout structure from this area, okay, on a lower time frame, even on seconds time frame, I'll sell it back down. Okay, and when price starts going back up, once it takes out this high, okay, with a minor little a bearish breakout structure, I'm selling it down once again, because the thing is there were buy stops resting above this high. Okay, and if price keeps going higher and higher, those people with buy stops would be in profit. You get that? You get that?
Right.
So that's why
understand
I
that.
look for the closest breakout structure, okay, the bearish breakout structure, and then I'm selling it back down. So price will go back up, take out all of these highs, and then I'm selling it back down once again. Okay, so it does not work this perfectly all the time. Like I told you, it's nothing is picture perfect in this market.
Mhm.
Okay, if it works this way all the time, like anyone would look at this pattern 1 or 2 days, and then they'll do that, right? Like anyone
Mhm.
would profit. So it does not work like that all the day. Sometimes it will take out a high. Sometimes it will just take out a high and then just give a minor little pullback, something like this, and then go back higher. They might do something like this, but expect even a tiny little pullback after a major high or low has been taken out. So I hope it's clear what I call a major high. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Bro, one
So
more
what-
thing. Sorry.
No, no, go
sorry to
ahead. Go ahead.
interrupt.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah.
Just can you
Go
show me any breaker entries which you take, because I'm still struggling like on breaker entries. The recent
Breakers.
breaker entry which you have took, like the reason
Okay,
behind
let's
those
see.
trades.
Let's see.
Okay.
I don't remember taking anything from the breaker. Let's see something. Like even for the breaker, it's just the same thing. We need to have an inducement.
Yeah, bro, but that inducement kind of confuses me as I'm
Okay.
habituated to see the order blocks inducement, right? So
Yeah, let's see. I don't remember taking anything.
Yesterday one the trade was in the
if
breaker.
I'll send you if I say the date, can you go there, bro?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Because I did ask you that out, but you were busy at that time. Just
Okay.
give me a minute.
Okay.
Meanwhile, some other guy can ask that out. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Udar, can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
In a trade setup, we
Okay.
always we have that clear OB inside in that. If
I did not get that. What is that?
in a trade setup, we can
Okay.
see a clear OB inside that. We call
Okay.
it trap.
Yeah.
So
Not
what if-
the thing is, like, you need to remember this. Not all the clear orbs are traps. Okay, not
okay,
everything.
okay. If there is
Only if
liquidity,
there is no
okay.
inducement.
Yeah.
Okay?
What if price react after the price reacts to that clear OB? Then what
Okay.
if price hit the TP? It means break the swing low or high.
So that's it. That's it. The thing is,
Then is our there is our OB no that
Yeah.
if we take it as a trap and we have marked the above one in a lower time frame, our POI,
Okay.
is it still
Okay.
value? Is it valid after price hit the TP?
no, not like if it hits the TP, which means it has broken structure, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, now say we entered off here with a clear order block, like you said. Okay, and if it reacts, it just reacts, and if it hits TP, it hits TP. So we can't do anything about it.
When
Okay, and
price
the structure has
again
broken.
come to that our POI, will it react?
No, I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be valid once again. Because yeah, I don't think it'll be valid because why? The price has broken structure, and if it's coming back down, which means now they have to break some major lows, which means the price has shifted structure.
So we
It
have
has
to
shifted structure. So
we have to close the pending orders after the break of
yeah, we have to
structure.
close them. Yeah, we have to close
Yeah.
them because the thing is, now say we had something on a 1 minute right here. Okay, price did not react of that, but price reacted of something on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, now when price is coming back down, price is now coming back down like very fast, because you see we have so much of voids to fill and all of those. But the thing is, when coming back down and once price breaks this low, okay, this is going to be a breakout structure. So in a bearish market, we only look for bearish order blocks, not bullish order blocks. You get that?
Yeah.
So price will we can expect price to just go through it like nothing. So we do not do that mistake. If price just goes back up, okay, without mitigating our order block, that's it. Just leave it right there.
Okay.
It might not give any reaction. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Okay. Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, bro. July 20th. July
July
20th trade, bro.
See,
The sell from 36640 and another one which you didn't took, but the one which you took was 36762, bro.
see, July 20. Was that during London Open or something?
Wait,
Somewhere around
you
here.
did posted it on Alchemist Journals. Let me see.
Somewhere around here.
Uh,
Oh yeah, this
that was
the sell, I
around
think.
New York kill zone, bro.
Okay.
525
What
you
was the price
posted.
level? What was the price level?
36750.
750.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was the sell.
At 550. No. 36750 was at 550, bro.
Yeah. This was that
525.
trade.
Sorry, 525.
525.
Somewhere on 525.
Can't be
Maybe you posted it
525.
on. No.
Oh yeah, maybe
You didn't
I
got my
posted
point.
it at 525.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the sell. This was the sell right here.
Yeah,
This thing.
36750, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing right here. Okay, I'll show you.
And here you missed one more trade below that, 3660 something like that.
3660.
First explain this, then we'll see that.
This thing right here. Yeah, I'll explain this now. Okay, so what I would do is this. First of all, I'll mark my Asian range. Okay, Asian session. So that starts at 2:30.
Late 30.
Yeah, 2:30 to 9:30. That's how I take it. Yeah, because 9:30 is the New York midnight time for me. That will be my Asian session. Okay, so what happened during the Asian session? Okay, now like now we're bearish. Okay, like that's clearly visible. We are just bearish. See that? Like at this point, it's just clearly bearish. We have no reason to buy back up. Okay, it's just clearly bearish. So then this is what I saw. It's just the same thing. Just the same thing. Okay. What did price do? It took out liquidity from all of these highs. Okay. And it broke structure. Right here, it broke structure. Okay. Right here, it broke structure. And then we have a new range. Okay. We have a new range from this high right here to this low right here. Okay, that's our new range now. So once a new range is created, we look for discount and premium prices. So we know that anything above this would be a good price for us to sell from. Okay, and we have this order block right here. We have this order block right here without any sort of inducement. So we would not take this as an inducement because you see this order block right here is like too obvious. Like anyone would look at it, right? Anyone would look at this order block. You get that? Because that's very clear. It had an imbalance. Okay, it had an imbalance. Some people even call this that valley block or something. Okay, so
yeah, and it broke
anyone would
structure as
take
well.
it. Yeah, it broke structure as well. So anyone would look at that. Okay, anyone would look at that. So if you go back down to a 5 minute, if you go back down to a 5 minute, we had that inducement. Okay, we had this inducement right here. Okay, we had this inducement. And then we need to look for something above it. So that's when I go to the 1 minute. Okay. So this is why I tell you to pay attention to the tiniest details. Oh shit. Okay. Now see what happens. See what happens. Okay. I would have chosen this. Okay. I told you we need to always choose the one closest to the inducement. See that? I would have chosen that. I would have chosen that. But what I saw on FTMO was like, this was okay. This was okay. But on FTMO, what I saw was price did not really fill. There was a nice little order block right here. Okay, there was a nice little order block right here. And I told you, if it comes this far and not fill the imbalance, these kind of moves are always suspicious. Okay, if it comes this far and did not fill the imbalance, now, if price did something like this, now imagine this wasn't
by suspicious you mean to say like this will get induced, right?
Yeah.
Like
the reason they are leaving this is they know that people will not pay attention to this. They know that. Okay, like people will look at this. People will look at this. Now what the smart my traders do is, because they are so concerned about the risk to reward ratio, they will do something like this. Okay, like just above that high. just above that high, not even a pip above it. Okay, because they are so concerned about the risk to reward ratio. So the smart money, the market makers, they know that. They know where we are pricing our stop losses or anything. Okay, like this is obvious. This is something like everyone would view at. Okay, everyone would look at. Yes, I told you that we need to choose the one closest to the inducement, but this thing alone becomes an inducement once again. See that the reason is it came this far back up, but it did not fill the imbalance. Okay, so even this looks like that. Even this looks like that. But the thing is, we need to like take the risk. We need to take the risk. So I was looking at this too. Okay, I was looking at this too, but then I thought, oh fuck it, and I just sold from this. That's it. Okay, so there, like on FTMO, this was super clear. This imbalance right here was super clear. Okay, so that's the reason I took it from that. Okay, I hope it's clear.
I was looking at the same one you said you were looking at as well, and I didn't
This thing
sell
right
it
here.
because I said his
Yeah, it
price
did
isn't
not
getting
fill
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. The thing is, we need to take the risks. Okay, we need to take the risks. Or if we know, like, if this failed, I know that what failed was not my direction. Okay, my direction did not fail, but my stop loss. Okay, so now imagine I put a sell from here, and then I did something like this, a 10 pip stop loss or 11 pip stop loss. So then my
Yeah.
stop loss would never get hit, right? So
Exactly.
we need to take the risk. We need to take the risk. Now, if I did this, my stop loss will never get hit, because why? I know that after taking out these highs, price has to pull back down, because this was that internal range liquidity. And after taking out internal range liquidity, where is
Bro,
price coming back
so
next?
here
Yeah.
the major confluence was again the 50% of Asian range, right?
Yeah, we had even that too. See that?
Okay.
But that
No.
aligned with this right here. Okay. See that?
Why isn't it
That was
getting clear
aligning with
now?
this. Okay. But that's
Yeah.
why I told you, we need to pay attention to the tiniest details. Okay, we need to pay attention to the tiniest details. Even the
And just in
50% of
case-
the Asian range. Okay, what is it?
Just in case if we aren't in Asian range. So personally, I would have considered this whole leg, bro. This whole leg, and I would have seen maybe these as inducements, and would have taken somewhere here.
Yeah, but
Okay, these
that's
as
why we came
inducements
back
and-
down from the higher time frame. Now, if you go to a 15-minute, you see this was that very clear inducement. This thing right here. This was that only clear inducement on the 15-minute. See that? So which one do we trust? The higher time frame things or the lower time frame things? Obviously, the higher time frame ones. Okay, so this was that the very clear inducement was this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is complicating. I know that. Okay, this is confusing. But once you get into this, like once you start looking at this from like all the different perspectives, only then you would make something out of it. Okay, until you train your eyes, it's going to be very difficult, and like you need to be willing to take the risks. Okay, now, like someone said, I could have even waited for this, but what if price falls from this, because this was an inducement too. Okay, you get that? So I just took the risk. I just took the risk. I don't mind risking money on this, because I know that even if I lose this, something from here is going to win. Some trade is going to be a winning trade for me. So that's why I just took risk. And I told you, even if we like lose a trade, it's not that because our direction was wrong or something. It's just because our stop loss is too tight. That's it. That's the reason.
Aggressive
even if we-
entries.
Yeah. Even if we take a sell from this, and if we put our stop loss above these highs right here, okay, so that's not bad. That's a 3.9 pip stop loss. The thing is, we are always aiming for those sniper entries. Okay, that's why we're just placing all of these tight stop losses, and like most of the time, your stop loss will get hit. Okay, so we can't do anything about it. We cannot do anything about it. It will get hit. Okay, so you see the reason. This is why I sold from this. Okay, I just took the risk. Even I was looking at this order block right here, but I just took the risk. Okay. So anything else? I hope that made sense, like why I sold from that.
Yeah.
Would you be able to like show us your thoughts on GU or any pair for today? Like, I just want to see
Today.
how you break it down.
Okay. So yeah, I already marked it down, and I marked the POI too. Don't know if it got hit. Oh fuck, no. So shit, I was looking at this. Okay, I'll show you. So what I did was this. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I will mark my Asian range. Okay, Asian range. And then on the 5-minute, this is what I saw. What did price do? It took out liquidity. Okay, it took out liquidity and then it broke structure. Okay, it took out liquidity and it broke structure, which means now we have a strong high. Okay, like not a very strong high because this is on a lower time frame yet. Okay, we took out liquidity and it broke structure. And then we had this inducement. We had an inducement. And then we had this POI right here. We had this POI right here. Price tapped into it and now price is falling back down. Okay, so why is it now? If price breaks this low, I knew that price will, like, obviously it has to pull back down and feel like, you see all of these imbalances right here. Now they have, I think they might come back down. Okay, they might come back down and like they have to fill all of these imbalances. You see, that's like a 50 pp imbalance. So price might just fall back down today, but I don't know. Let's see though. Let's see, because now price took out all of these lows now. So then you see that price tapped into that order block and it broke structure once again. Okay, it broke structure once again. Then we have this inducement, then something from this week, and then price came back down, broke structure once again. So then this is what I wanted to do. I was looking at this. I will set a pending here. Price did not come into it. Because why? It's the same thing. Took out liquidity and it broke structure, which means this little thing is a strong high. So this is it. Now, to get an entry, like every day, to get an entry on the London Kill Zone Open or the London Session Open, we need to stay on a lower time frame. Okay, the lower time frame shows us everything. So I was waiting for this to be taken out and price to tap into this, because why? This was an inducement. This was an inducement. Okay. So
Was this
what
the
I was waiting.
liquidity? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Were you saying like there was where it took out a little bit and then broke
Yeah, a
structure?
little bit. But the main thing for me was this thing right here, this inducement. So because if you look at this ICT's, there's a video from ICT called ICT 4-hour to 5-minute video. This is that setup he's looking for. This is it. Okay. Price has to create an order block like this. Then it has to drop back down, create a short-term low just below it, and then come back down. And then with the next move, this is what we're expecting. We're expecting this highs to be taken out. That's it. This is that classic setup he's looking for. And this works all the time. This works all the time. If this short-term high is present, this trade is like a 90% chance of working out. This trade, yeah, this trade has a 90% chance of working out. Something like this. Okay, the reason is, I told you, above every single swing high, there will be liquidity. There will be liquidity. So even though price did not tap into this, okay, it just came back up. It just took out those liquidity from the side. That's why I told you, price is fractal and so is liquidity. Okay, liquidity is fractal too.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Okay.
So like you said you had a pending order there. Like,
Yeah.
do you still have that pending order, or how long do
No,
you
no,
know until you cancel it?
Like,
Like, how do
after
you-
this
how-
breakout structure, I'm just taking it off. That's it.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
got you.
So even right here, I think now price is wanting to go up because why? It took out liquidity from these lows. Okay, it did not break major structure yet, but the thing is, we have an FU candle, but we did not even get a reaction from, like, it did not even come back to there. So let's see this. So today I'm expecting GU to pull back down a little bit, but since it's Wednesday, I think GU might go back up.
Today's FOMC, yeah?
I'm sorry.
FOMC today, Fed's interest rates. is
Oh yeah,
CPI.
that's true. So we can expect something like this. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, this is what I'm personally looking at, because we know that on a high impact news week, Wednesday has the chances of making the high or the low of the week. We know that, right? I hope all of you know that Wednesday has the chances of making the high of the week on a week with high impact news. So I'm expecting FOMC to take out all of these highs and then tap into somewhere around here or to these two, okay, because there was liquidity above these two. So that is what I expect. We know that on a Wednesday with news, that's when the high or the low of the week is going to form. So we can expect something like this. This is what I'm expecting. Let's see. This is my point of interest. Okay, because the reason is this was that major high on a 4-hour time frame. This was that last lower high. Okay, which means this has a lot of buy stops resting above it. Okay, so we know that price is coming after buy stops now. And right here we had a beautiful 30-minute order block right here. See that? So this is what I'm looking at. This POI is what I'm looking at. So it may work or it may not. So I will always wait for a reaction. I will wait for a reaction from that point. And if it hits this with news, we're going to be unfortunate. We can't get that sniper entry from right here if it hits with news. But let's see. I'm expecting this today. I'm expecting that price to come back down and then tap into this and then fall. This is what I'm expecting.
So you'll wait for it to tap into it and then
Yeah.
go on like 1 minute and look for entry.
Yeah, the same thing. I'll wait for now. I told you, if this was my POI, I'll wait for something like this to form on a 1 minute. Takes out liquidity and breaks structure. Strong high. Price might come into the breaker, fall back down, created the inducement. So I'll wait for this. This is what patiently I'll wait for this. I'll wait for this. This will be very safe. But if it hits with news, like this won't happen. This won't happen. It will be just a wick that mitigates this. So I'm just looking at that too. So if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, one more question concerning what you just showed with the Asian range today on the lower time frame.
Okay.
If you can go back to the you on the M1, I think, and you showed the Asian range
So the today's one.
today. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right. You said something just now. You said in this area here, price broke structure, right?
Yeah. That was a minor little break of structure that I took. You see that?
Yeah,
This thing
yeah,
right
that's
here.
what because I was expecting price would need to break this to break structure.
Yeah, it has to break that too, but I just told you now, since price is coming back from a strong high, see that this was a strong high, this was a strong high. Okay, see this thing right here, this was a strong high because why? It took out liquidity and it broke structure. Okay, which means
Right.
now this is a
Yeah.
strong high, so this move is coming from a strong high. See that?
Mhm.
This thing is originated from a strong high. This took out liquidity and then tapped into somewhere around here. Okay, something from
Yeah.
the strong high came back down, which means now this, what did this high do? It took out liquidity and it broke structure right once again, minus structure. And then we had this liquidity, price came back up, tapped into somewhere around here, and then it's now coming back down from a strong high. Okay, so we know that price is still selling. Price is selling. So after taking out this high, okay, like if this was the strong high, this becomes the weak low, right? If this is the strong high, this becomes the weak low. I hope it's clear. So then after taking out the internal range liquidity, where are they coming next? This was that external range liquidity. So
Right.
that's why I tried to sell from this, because I know that price has to take this out now. This is that weak low they're targeting
Okay.
for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else then?
Yeah, I have a question. It's what yesterday on GU. You showed the example already. It was like on the M1 time frame around New York, I think.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Right.
yeah, on the right there at the top, a bit higher.
Right here.
No, the one on the right, a bit higher.
This thing.
Yeah. So
Okay.
can I annotate? Wait.
Okay.
Okay. So you said that your favorite setup or whatever was like this. Wait for the
Yeah,
inducement above
inducement.
here.
Yes.
Okay, I understand that M15 was bullish or whatever, but yesterday I took this trade. It hit break even, but again you've got
this
your
thing right here. This thing right here.
yeah. I took it from the break.
Yeah, you took it from this,
Yeah,
right?
that was a breaker. Yes, I was looking at that same
Yeah.
trade cell.
Yeah,
Let me
the thing is, you need to realize this, okay? Why did you take the sell from this? This was their target. this was external range liquidity on the 15-minute. This was external range liquidity. So why did you expect price to sell from this? Like, even though we got a breakout structure, okay, this was our target. This was that external range liquidity. So like, if this setup occurred after this, after taking out this high, then we could have expected this to hold. Then this would have been a good setup. But you see, this was that external range liquidity price was going for. Okay, this is the one they were going before. So then going after. So why did you expect price to sell from this? Why did you expect that? Even though we got a breakout structure, that's why I told you we need to stick to the higher time frame. We need to stick to the higher time frame. So your setup occurred right here. Okay, but what are they actually reaching for? Now, this was our range. Okay, this was our range from this low, this high. Let's take that as the range from this low, this high. And then this was that internal range liquidity. Okay, this was that internal range liquidity. So after taking out internal range liquidity, where are they going next? External range liquidity. So your one happened right here. So why would you expect to sell before taking out external range liquidity? Yeah, it will give a reaction. It will give a reaction because there was an inducement right here. So it just gave a reaction. But we need to know that where price is actually heading. It was heading for this. So like, we should not do that. We should not do that. Okay?
You wouldn't have taken a trade there, like
Me,
a small
personally.
sell.
I wouldn't have done that. I know that it won't work out because it's like so close to taking out external range liquidity. See that? This is
Yeah.
where the external range liquidity was. So why would I sell from this? Why would I sell from here? Like, it will give reactions. It will give reactions because
Yeah.
why? It's the same thing. It took out liquidity, okay, and it broke structure. It broke structure. Okay, that was somewhere around here. Okay, let's take this. It broke structure. Okay, and what did price do? Came back into the breaker. So we know that the first one that comes into the breaker is that inducement. Okay, it came into the breaker, created that inducement, and then we had that wick. We had that wick. So this was okay. This was okay. You see now, this setup always gives a reaction. It will give a reaction. See that?
So you use the wick instead of that order block above it?
What's the closest one now? Which one is the closest?
Yeah, but it didn't fill that imbalance though, I thought.
Yeah, it did not. It did not. But if you go to 30-second or something, there might be a good order block right there. Shit. I would have personally used the wick. See that there was a good order block, but it was mitigated. But I told you, we need to always pay attention to the wicks. Okay, we need to pay attention to the wicks. Okay, so I would have done that, and it gave a reaction too. Okay, but it just gives a reaction. If this setup occurs, it will give a reaction. But if this is like aligned with the higher time frame, your confluences are more because the higher time frame wants to go there too. But just look at this. Okay, this was external range liquidity, and why would you sell from this? Like, it came this close to taking out external range liquidity, and then it came like started falling back down. So like, why would you expect sales from here? You get that?
Okay. Can we go back to M1 again for a second, please?
Right there.
Yeah, same place.
Okay.
After that, Udara, would you mind going to EU and just giving your thoughts on it for today?
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm just going to annotate again. So when would you, because of course I saw this as inducement, but when would, well, earlier you said this is a breaker structure. So when would you kind of class this as a breaker structure instead of inducement? Is that to do with the higher time frame?
I'm sorry, I did not get that. Can you?
So I said that this was a sell because this was the inducement here, but
Yeah.
before you said that this was like your breaker structure and then you took a trade from here or whatever. Like when would you class it as a breaker
Why would
structure?
I do that?
Yeah, how do you know it's a
you
breaker
see-
structure, not inducement?
You see, price, what did it do? Took out liquidity from all of these lows. See that? Like, there were like, this was sideways price action, something like a trend line, and everything was there. Price, what did it do? It took out liquidity, and we know that that's why I told you, like, it's just the same thing once again. we need to know where higher time frame is, like where the higher time frame wants to go. So right here was that external range liquidity price was after. This was the one that price was going to. So what did price do? Took out all of these lows. Okay, took out all of these lows. And if you go to a seconds time frame, this would be more clear. See, this was a clear downtrend on seconds time frame. See how price came back, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Then what did it do? After taking out all of those liquidity, it broke structure. See that?
Yeah.
After taking out all of those lows, it broke structure right here, somewhere around here. Okay, and it even got induced with this little wick. So I'll tell you this. If I'm looking at the 15 seconds time frame for entries, this little gap, this gap for me is a major confluence that price wants to come there. Okay, and it got induced too. So I don't think many of you are trading in the lower time frames. Okay, but if you're trading in the 15 second, if you see this gap, like always expect it to get filled. Like with your order block, if there is a gap, I would take this for sure. Okay, because I've seen this setup, like not this setup, I've seen this occur like so many times. This gap with this order block, this would be very high probable. Okay, price will fill it, tap into it, and then like go back up very fast. Okay, so that was not your question, but this is how I got the breakout structure. You get that?
Okay. So it kind of has to do with higher time frame as well.
I'm sorry?
It has to kind of do with higher time frame. Obviously, the draw
Yeah,
liquidity was
it has
that,
to.
yeah.
It has to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the draw on liquidity is above this. Okay, this is where they're heading. This is where they're heading. So it came back up this higher. Okay, and then why would it want to fall without taking out external range liquidity? See that?
Yeah.
This was that internal range liquidity. So after taking that out, where is price going next? So it took out sell stops. I told you a drop in a bullish market is a hunt for sell stops. So after taking out sell stops, where are they going next? Buy stops. See that?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I have one question.
Okay.
On the 1 minute, where you just at?
Right here. Okay.
Yeah. Like, did you expect for it to maybe come back down to a breaker on that pullback?
Me?
Or yeah, like, or would you? Like if it didn't?
The thing is,
if it
I
didn't
wasn't looking at the charts at that time.
Yeah.
But I would expect something around here. At
Yeah,
least
see, that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
was
would wait for
expecting the
at least
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Or
after
even-
this, it took out liquidity and it broke structure. So if this thing happens, it is going to be a strong low. Okay, now always look for that. Always look for that.
Yeah.
If price takes out liquidity and if it breaks structure, this will hold. Okay, like I'm not saying it must hold, but it will hold. This thing right here. Okay, so the first one always comes to the breaker, inducement. This is that setup I'm always looking for. Nothing else.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm always looking for.
Gotcha.
Okay, I hope
So
it's clear.
would that be the right breaker, or like would that other small one under it be the breaker?
This thing or this
Yeah.
thing.
Is that the right one? Yeah.
Yeah,
or is
I
that
would
the
look
right-
for this. I would look for this because the reason is this was that major resistance. Okay, so I would
Okay.
look for this. I would
Yeah.
look for this, but there was no inducement too, so it did not come back down.
Got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that clears it up.
Okay. So what else? Bro?
So with that diagram you just drew there, right? You're saying that even if there is a breaker at the top, right? The price is
Yeah,
going to
this
break
was a
that.
breaker.
Yeah. So even if this here is a breaker, price is
Okay.
going to break through this and go for the external liquidity like we saw yesterday.
If price has to, now the thing is this is a bullish setup. Okay, this is a bullish
Right.
setup. So I didn't like, why did you mark this now?
No, like yesterday we had the breaker there and it's looking to sell from the breaker, right? And you will say you explained just now that
Oh, this thing right here. This
yeah,
one
at the top.
right here.
Yeah.
Right here, somewhere on here.
No, like up here. Up here was the breaker yesterday.
Right.
No, wait, we're in the wrong place now. If you go on the M15, yeah, you'll see it on the M15, right? Up here,
Okay.
right over here. This was the breaker here. This
This one.
No, wait. I'm getting
That doesn't
confused here.
make
This
sense.
is today.
This was yesterday. This
This,
was
this was
yesterday.
yesterday.
This
right.
was yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this are the high.
Okay.
So this was the high, and price came up back here into breaker, right?
This thing IT8 came to the break.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Right. And then this was a you look to take a sell here, but you said no, right? Because you just explained it, right?
Yeah, I
So-
just explained it. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't we take a sell from this? The reason is this is the draw on liquidity. Okay, this is the draw on liquidity. Okay, now even though now I told you, if something like this happens, this low has to hold. Like, it's not a must. It's not a must. It's not a must. Okay, but it has to hold now. Even though this was a strong high at some point, it took out liquidity and it broke structure. This was strong. This was strong. That's right. But the thing is, where is the draw on liquidity? Where is the draw on liquidity? Okay, just give me 1 minute, guys. Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to always see where the draw on liquidity is. You see that now? This is that high they're targeting for. Okay. This is the high they're targeting for. So like, why would we want to sell from this breaker right here? Because if this was external range liquidity, and if the breaker was very close to the external range liquidity, we know that it will be taken out for sure. And even though like price will give a reaction, the reason is there was an inducement, there was a swing high. So after taking out swing highs, we know that price has to pull back. The reason is there were buy stops resting above this high. So after taking that out, price has to pull back down, because if it keeps going higher and higher, those people would be in profit. But the thing is, at some point they will give you some chance to win, because like they have to create a reason, okay, for them to put their money into these markets. So after taking out this high, you see price just went back up, which means these people with buy stops here would have taken a good profit from this. You get that?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
understand.
Okay. So what else?
Would you mind just giving your views on EU
EU. Yeah, let's look at EU.
just for today? Thanks.
Okay. EU. So yesterday I told you, right, this high will be taken out.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you that high will be taken up. Okay. Okay, just give me one. All right. So yesterday I told you on EU, this was a weak high. Okay, this was a weak high. The reason is like, even though it took out all of these highs, did it break structure? No, right? It did not break structure. It failed to break structure. So without breaking this low, if it starts coming back up like this, these highs will be taken out. We know that. Okay, we know that. So they took out this high. So if you go to 15 minute, okay, now they have a strong high. Now we have a strong high. What did price do? Took out liquidity once again from these highs. Okay, and took out a major high too, this high right here. It took out this high too, and it broke structure. Broke minor structure. See that this is when I look at a minor structure break, because why? It took out liquidity and then it pulled back. See, I told you it's the same thing. After taking out this high, it has to pull back. The reason is, see, it went back up and then pulled back right away. The reason was there were buy stops resting above this high. They'll trigger them and then come back down for those stop losses. And then the same thing, created another swing high, went back up, broke structure. So then if I mark my Asian range, from 230 to 930. This was my Asian range. So now what is price doing? we had a range from this high to this low. Okay, price went into a premium price. Okay, it went into a premium price, but I think this high right here is an inducement. This is how I take it as. Okay, this high right here is for sure an inducement. You see, it did not do anything significant. It came to the breaker, that's right. So I told you the one that comes into the breaker will become the inducement most of the time.
Yeah.
Is that what did price do? I will always wait for this high to be taken out. For sure, I'll wait that high to be taken out. Look out liquidity, induced. Now they'll do something like this, and then now. You get that? See that? Now this
Okay.
is told you. This is that setup I'm always looking at. Okay. So this is that inducement. I will wait for this high to be taken, no matter what, because that will always be safe. Okay. Because I don't trust the moves that comes from the breakers. I don't trust this. I do not trust this at all. So price will. I will wait for price to sweep above this highs. This high is a strong high right now on the 15-minute. Okay. I will wait for it to like sweep all of this and then tap into somewhere around here. That's what I would look for. Okay.
And then you just target those lows.
Yeah, I'll target like all of these lows, maybe. But the thing is, today is FOMC, so all of these highs has the chances of being taken out. These highs or these lows. Okay, but maybe but on GU I expect those highs to be taken out, so it has to do the same thing on EU too, because it's the correlating pairs. Can expect something like this or something. Let's see though. Let's see. That was just my view, and I'm not trading EU, but on GU that's the one. That is my analysis. Okay, that is what I'm personally waiting for price to come and tap into this right here. Okay, I hope I cleared at least one or two of your doubts.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, if you have anything else, you can ask now.
And what about the gold?
Oh, can
sorry?
you mute this guy?
Gold.
Who was that?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
What's that sound?
Arena.
Oh,
Please
how
mute
can
that
I
guy.
use that?
I feel like I'm in the toilet.
How am I to mute her? Shit, move.
That was Irina.
Yeah. Shit. Just bear with it, guys. I don't know how to mute her. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. So what was that
Okay.
question?
Yeah, can you show the gold?
Gold.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think it's to be bullish.
Gold. Oh, you see, I even had this mark, but I could not buy from it. This same setup, guys. Same setup once again. What did price do? Took out liquidity and broke structure. Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, it came back down. We had an inducement, tapped into it, broke structure once again, which makes this the strong low. I wanted to take a buy from here, but I did not. Okay, you see, it's the same thing once again.
Yeah.
It took out all of these lows and it broke structure, which makes this a strong low once again. And we had an inducement. Then we had this wick, price tapped into it. So now I would expect gold to, now these highs will be taken out for sure, because this is a weak high. This high will be taken out, and then we can expect some sort of a pullback from areas from here. Yeah. And then I guess all of these highs might be taken out. These highs right here might be taken out, because you see it just like nothing. It just reacted off of an imbalance.
Yeah.
That's it. So I hope for that. Yeah, I hope for something like this now. Okay, so let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
This high will be taken out for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
This will be
Yeah.
taken out. So, like yesterday, I wanted to buy from this, but I could not. Sadly. Okay. What else? So the thing is, you need to trust your analysis. Okay, you need to trust it.
Yeah.
That's
the
the
thing.
thing.
So
Yeah, you need to
it will
trust
take
your
time,
analysis.
it
Okay,
will
like
take time
do not take what
because-
other, no, do not even take my views. Okay, like even I
Yeah.
lose trades. That's obvious. Even I lose
Yeah,
trades,
of course,
and
you
I might
don't-
be wrong. I might be wrong. So like no one can help it. So
What's your win percentage?
I'm sorry. That's like 68% the last time I checked on FTM. That's enough. That's enough. Obviously, that's enough.
if GU pulls back before going higher, like where do you think it will pull back
If
to?
GU pulls back.
Yeah.
So the first one was until here, and then at least to this 4-hour order block. Okay, we cannot expect price to go below this without taking out all of these lows. I'll wait for price to just tap into this order block or something.
That
I'll wait for
breaker.
that. Yeah. So I
But
hope
you wouldn't go
everything's
down
clear.
to you wouldn't go down to a lower time frame to find.
Huh? I'm sorry.
You wouldn't go down to like a lower time frame.
No, the thing
To
is,
see
I'll
where-
wait for these lows to be taken out. Okay, I'll wait for these lows to be taken out, and
Okay.
then I would go to a lower time frame. I would
Oh.
always wait for these lows to be taken out. Okay, and even
Gotcha.
if I do not have a clear order block now, if it like we have this breaker, we have this order block, so I'll mark that whole thing. Okay, I'll mark that
Okay.
whole thing right like this, and then I'll wait for price to do. So I'll just monitor price action at that time. Okay.
Oh,
So right here, I took this by very confidently because that was that last point price could come into that 1 minute thing. Okay, I hope
Gotcha.
it's clear. And
Yeah.
even this week was the generator of this breakout structure. See that?
yeah.
This wick was that generator, which means this had some selling pressure in it. I'm sorry, a selling and a buying both pressures in this little wick right here. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Cool
hope
deal,
everything
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. Could me what? Could you what?
Yeah. Cool deal. Thanks. Yeah, I got it.
All right. I hope everything's clear. I hope sounds like everyone got your doubts cleared now.
Yeah,
Do you
almost.
have anything else? Almost. Yeah, the questions will come now. We'll have another session in the like after New York or something. If you all want to join, you all can join because there were people who could not join. So like I can't leave them waiting. Okay, so if you all want to join, you can join again with some new doubts. That's not a problem. Okay, so maybe after New York or something. If you all want to join, just let me know. Okay, so even if you want to do a session tomorrow, okay, if you feel like I'm clearing your doubts, or if you don't feel like that, that's all right. Like, if you feel like that, just let me know. Let's have another session. No problem. I'm not going to charge extra because I'm always free. I'm always in these charts. So like, it's not a problem hanging out with you guys. Okay, just let me know if you want me to clear some doubts for you.
Cool.
I'll help you the way I can.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I hope everything's clear and everyone has got their doubts cleared.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, it was
You're
good.
welcome,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
thank you.
guys. So let's have another session in the evening. Okay, like if you all want
Okay,
to join, you all
alright.
can join. Okay.
What
Come with
time?
questions.
What time?
Let's discuss that in the group. We have so much
Okay,
time
yeah.
left. Okay, let's see that in the.
Cool.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
stay safe, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.